Hello and good morning everybody. Welcome to the Gold and Silver Club end of week review for the 8th of February 2013. Today we'll be reviewing the latest developments in the commodities markets. We'll be analysing the week's performance, and during this live session, for those of you who are new to the webinar and for those of you who've been on these calls before, welcome back. During this live session we'll be looking at an end of week summary for gold, silver and commodity currencies. We'll be looking at the top trades of the week. We'll be covering live market commentary and technical analysis, and we'll be looking at the week ahead, so key events looking forward. So it's been quite the week this week. So the real big news, the headline news yesterday, I mean, you can see we had a massive whipsaw in price on gold and silver. So let me talk you through actually what happened yesterday. So the ECB President Draghi's comments yesterday really affected the euro. They affected the prices of gold and silver. So during the widely awaited European Central Bank ECB press conference, high levels of volatility triggered extreme price moves in gold and silver. You can see that hopefully quite clearly on the chart there. We had a whipsaw, price came down, some key price action levels, and it actually whipsawed all the way back again. So at first, President Mario Draghi indicated the ECB would keep interest rates unchanged at 0.75%, but commented that the recent euro-dollar appreciation could derail the economic recovery in Europe and reduce the threat of inflation. So the mere hint of future interest rate cuts caused the euro-dollar to immediately drop by 1.52%. And as a result, very shortly afterwards, the gold and silver price reacted exactly the same way. They just tanked against the rising US dollar and the decline in inflation expectation. Okay, so you can see that on your chart where if you were trading yesterday, you would have seen the euro dropped very significantly. Gold and silver were starting to head down. They were starting to on the screen there. They got to a red pivot point just on the screen, and then very shortly afterwards, they just absolutely plummeted. So shortly after, gold and silver prices suddenly changed direction as President Mario Draghi hinted that the Eurozone economy still faced significant risk conditions that could warrant easing efforts in the future. So during the length of the ECB press conference, during that 45 minutes, spot gold dropped by 1.2% to 1663 an ounce before it completely retraced. And if you'd been quick and just been able to trade the setups, we'll show you how we traded it yesterday. You caught a very nice position on both gold and silver very quickly in and out. So spot silver dropped 2% to 31.30 before it retraced all the way back to 31.94, and gold dropped to 16.63 before it retraced all the way back to 16.83. So it was the sort of trade setup we like, news announcements trades, a very profitable trade setup. Okay, so that's just a little bit about some, well, the major news really that's come out this week, particularly yesterday. So looking at the gold price at the moment, so if you just go across and have a look at what we're currently at, just to gauge where we are this week, if you want to have a look at your charts. The gold price at the moment is, actually going to throw it out there, so would anybody like to have a look, tell me what the price of gold is right now, if you want to have a look at your charts? Okay, fantastic. Yes, Keller, spot on. So the price at the moment of gold is 1,670. The volatility on gold at the moment, the range that we're stuck in, we haven't been this range bound on gold for over 6 years. The volatility on here, we're just moving really between over most of 2 weeks or so. Yeah, since around about the 9th of January, so over a month now, we haven't broken out of really about 1650 level to 1697. So we've been very tightly range bound within gold over the last month, and this has provided a lot of range bound sort of opportunities, but it's following price action remarkably well. It's very predictable when the market does this, when it just moves very specifically within a range, so you can essentially sell from when it gets to the top of the range, buy when it gets to the lower end of the range. So we'll show you how we've been doing that, but that's quite remarkable for gold prices at the moment. Okay, so just briefly a little bit about myself and Nick, for all of you who are new to the webinar today. So I'm Phil Carr, professional trader, trainer and speaker. I'm the co-founder and director of the Gold and Silver Club. I specialize in teaching people how to make money from trading the biggest financial markets in the world, Forex, gold, silver and oil. I've trained thousands of individuals to become independent traders, successfully manage their own investment portfolio, and I'm responsible for the research and development of the Gold and Silver Club trademark strategies that have a proven track record of generating returns for traders. Also a regular contributor to a number of financial publications and speak at numerous trading seminars and workshops. This is Nick Kelsey, who's joining me on the call as well. Nick Kelsey is a professional trader, investment analyst and speaker. Nick began his career within private wealth management in 2002 before making the transition into proprietary trading. Prior to co-founding the Gold and Silver Club, Nick spent over 5 years coaching professional fund managers and traders internationally for some of the world's top-tier hedge funds and investment banks. So through his first-hand relationship with some of the world's most successful traders, he's discovered the formula, mindset and tools that give any individual the definitive edge to make money in any economy, and also regularly writes for a number of global business financial publications and appears frequently also on financial television. In fact, here's ourselves recently on Swiss television talking about giving our live market commentary on the gold and silver markets. And here's just a few of the publications that we've done recently: Global Banking and Finance Review, International Life, and the South African. So that's a little bit of background on us, just for those of you who are new to our webinars, just so you know you're in good hands today. So let's have a look at the top trades of the week using the Gold and Silver Club's signature trading strategies. So there's been a number of lovely trading opportunities this week. Okay, here we go. So some of you may have caught some of these moves. If so, well done. So here we had the gold. This was yesterday's ECB news trade. So you can see here where on the screen that the gold is moving very tightly range bound, but you've got essentially a trend line which are getting higher lows all the time as we're following that market upwards with gold, but we've still got 1680 is that real key resistance. So every time essentially you're getting in for a day trade, that's the perfect exit point at the moment. Price came down to test as low as 1663. We got in just at 1665 once we bottomed out of that really that sell-off yesterday. One lot, so 50 pip risk and $500 risk for each lot we traded, and we came out with 152 pips on the trade, so 1,520 profit for a nice 3-to-1 risk to reward, and that was very quick. I think under about 90 minutes we were able to get in and out of that trade. And that was the gold news trade yesterday. Silver, exactly the same reaction yesterday. We used you can see on the screen there one of our lighthouse indicator, where you can see the price has actually come down, bounced right off that level and reversed. So we came down to 31.37. That was our entry point, also a price action level, and we've just come out of the resistance there that we've continued to find on silver. Silver really struggling to break above 31.90 this week, or certainly 32 it can't get above. And risk on that was 15 pips, so each lot 150 risk to make 52 pips, so each lot was $520 worth of profit for a 6-to-1 risk to reward. Again, nice news trade, very quick in and out within 90 minutes. So that's our 2 trades that we took yesterday on gold and silver. Now, if we look at New Zealand US dollar, so everybody who joined us on last week's webinar, you would have seen us looking at this on the live market commentary. We continued to test this level of resistance, which was the high of the last 18 months. We hadn't broken it throughout the whole of 2012, and it was coming up to another test of this level, and really the sellers were running out. They just couldn't break the price above that level of resistance. A very simple price action trade, again using our tailored indicators. We had a really nice setup on the sell short side here, and you can see it's taken about it's a swing trade, taken about 3 or 4 days to reach our profit target. We did eventually reach that just yesterday in the morning. You can see there where the price has just come down, breached our profit target, so we had a 20 pip risk on that trade. Each lot we traded was $200 risk, and we came out with 112 pips for each lot, so $1,120 in profit for a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I'm sure some of you will remember that setup we were looking at last week. A USD-CAD, I'm going to show you that on the screen this morning because USD-CAD is just moving particularly range bound at the moment and very straightforward trade. So we had 2 USD Canadian dollar trades this week. Actually, we had a third just yesterday, and on the 1st of February and the 4th of February. And this is very simply highlighted in blue on the screen. You can see where we've entered level of key support, and also you can see where our lighthouse indicator is also giving us a buy entry there. So risk was quite tight on this trade because if you were wrong, you wanted to be out fairly quickly. So just a 12 pip risk for each lot, $120 worth of risk, and the reward on each trade was 35 pips. So each lot was $350 profit. So we had 2 trades in that for $700 profit for a 3-to-1 risk to reward on each of those trades. Okay, so those are some of the top trades of the week this week. So what I shall do now, I'm just going to hand you over to my other screen. So just bear with me whilst I do this. Here we go. So here's the key price action level we've been following very nicely on USD Canadian dollar, and you can see here, let's just highlight this for you, this level of resistance. And I mean, we're selling for a short from there again today. We've just got this very clear level, 2 price action levels where the price is remaining between. We had a bit of a dip down yesterday due to a lot of news that came out where we very soon rallied, but we couldn't. Again, we came back to this key level of resistance, and we're just selling off it perfectly this morning again around 0.9989. So you can see here really where the price action has come down. So these are the trades we took. Taking profit level, come down again, hasn't broken, taking profit, come down again. The trades has rallied again. So each of those trades worth around 35 pips, and each of those trades looking for a risk of circa 20 pips. So USD Canadian dollar just moving very range bound at the moment, very straightforward. In terms of trading, once you've got all your indicators set up on the screen, which the Gold and Silver Club custom-made indicators we've got there just on the screen, but you can see that very clearly where we've taken profits and where we've entered into positions. Okay, we're going to look across to Australian US dollar. So actually, before we do that, let's look at New Zealand US dollar. So here was the key level of resistance on New Zealand US dollar. This level we just couldn't break past. It did look like on Sunday night that we might get a breakout. It was a false flag. Couldn't break above it. Very soon reversed. So we opened up higher on New Zealand US dollar. It very soon sold off, and eventually you can see where it's come all the way back down, and it's just come back down to, you can see what traders were targeting around this 0.829 level where the price came back. Did a very similar price action move back at the beginning of January, and we had that again. So moved very nicely there on New Zealand US dollar. Looks like traders have certainly come in and bought on the pullback there overnight during the Asia Pacific session at around about 0.82962. So we're midway at the moment between these two key levels with New Zealand US dollar, but you can see where there's really been some nice swing trades recently on New Zealand US dollar. Looking across to gold, yeah, gold still staying within this higher lows here. 1680 still providing that level of resistance. You can see we're actually coming down. We're just really sitting on the 1,670 level at the moment. So we are going to get some resolution on this soon. So I would expect potentially the price action is going to be either supported and come back and retest the 1680s again, or at some point, just like a pebble thrown on the water, you get a big bounce, smaller bounces, and eventually it falls through. We could see the price start to break down, dependent on the news that we see coming out today, and the strength of the US dollar. But let's just have a look. So we could get this sort of a move back to 1680, could get a retest of, or potentially a breakdown to 1660 level. We'll see, or it could just consolidate most of the day after yesterday's volatile moves. So we'll certainly keep an eye on gold today. Silver, look at that, silver following our lighthouse indicator perfectly there. So silver has just come down. This is the sell-off. This was the entry point we got in yesterday. It's following a clear strategy. You can see here where the price is coming down, and it is testing a key level, a key trend line, if you like. You can see with the price very cleanly, the volumes have really started to to come to a halt here. You can see a real drop in volume. Silver very much waiting for buyers to come in now. So we're either going to get supported from this level and possibly a retest again of these of the 31.90 level, or we can see we're very cleanly getting supported at this level here, but we're not getting the buyers coming in at the moment. There's a little bit of calm before we actually see a big price action move. If we do start to get a breakdown in price, we could be going quite a bit lower because there's not a lot of support just below this about 31.30 level, okay, on silver, so we could see that happen. But at the moment things are a bit quiet on silver. And you can see here where cleanly we have some support, some clear support on silver at its current price. Euro USD was a really interesting one yesterday. So Euro USD, one big move to the downside yesterday, and interestingly, we've just been supported by this this extension level here, the Fibonacci extension there, so you can see very cleanly where the price has actually come down. So a lot of traders obviously watching that price there on the euro. You can see where the price is actually very distinctly just bounced off that level in the morning, and we're obviously getting some a bit of a breather here as the sellers here are taking some profits, and stop losses also that probably got hit on the way down have really getting buyers coming in just down at this price action level, which is at 1.33719, and you can see the price has bounced off level. It's coming down a little bit now, but we've moved about 25, or we're up about 25 or so points off that low at the moment. So euro certainly one to watch at the moment. It's had quite the rally recently, and after yesterday's comments from the ECB we had a big drop. So drop alongside gold and silver was about 190 points, I guess 190 pips. The major difference was, I guess, when you look at the euro is strongly correlated a lot of the time to gold and silver. So we saw this big drop on the Euro USD yesterday, and Nick Housey and myself and the Gold and Silver Club, we were eagerly anticipating a potential move to the downside in gold and silver next, and they did follow through. There was a delay though, so it did give us it gave us an early indicator that we might be about to go lower on gold and silver, and we did. I guess the main difference is that we recovered very quickly on gold and silver as the buyers came into the market, but we haven't really recovered so much on the euro, although we're getting a bit of a bounce off that price action level at the moment. So looking to Australian US dollar here, so we did have we have sold off the same as the New Zealand US dollar. We've sold off quite significantly over the last 10 days really on Australian US dollar. We've come down to we haven't really bounced off any major of support here, but we certainly, if we just go into a smaller time frame, we have started to see a bit of a relief rally here. Whether we've bottomed out, and I've seen some comments today that we're in a potential, we've bottomed out on Australian US dollar now after this correction. So we will be following this market closely, but not looking as interesting right now. Obviously you've missed some of the move at this point on Australian US dollar, so we'll be watching this to see if we do come back to test some price action levels. But right now far more interested at the moment silver, gold, and USD Canadian dollar. Look at that, it's just coming down again, so we'll be interested to see if we're just going to retest this this whole here level of support, and whether it's just going to come down and test that level. Okay, so that's what we're looking at the moment with gold, silver, and commodity currencies. So let's have a look at the week ahead, what news we are expecting for the week ahead. Okay, so the major news to look out for next week, and as you've seen, you know, as all of you know, and are I'm sure very aware of from being on our webinars, that the markets are very news driven at the moment. You can see that from yesterday's price action moves, from the moves that we get during Federal Reserve announcement, interest rate decisions, ECB statements. So you really do need to have your eye on the upcoming news, as I'm sure a lot of you do already. But for those of you who are new, here are the major news announcements coming out next week. So you've got the US Federal Reserve budget balance. That's going to be next Tuesday at 7 p.m. in the evening. So that would be one to watch. So the federal budget balance measures the difference in value between the federal government's income and expenditure during the reported month. A positive number indicates a budget surplus, a negative number indicates a deficit. A higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the US dollar. So we know that's very strongly correlated to gold and silver. So US dollar rallies, you tend to see gold and silver sell off, and vice versa. Wednesday, 13th of February at 1:30 p.m. is the US core retail sales. Now that measures the change in the total value of sales at the retail level in the US, excluding automobiles. So that's an important indicator of consumer spending, as it's also considered as a pace indicator for the US economy. Again, a higher than expected reading could be taken as bullish for the USD. Lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the USD. Then Wednesday we have 11:45 p.m. so Japanese yen GDP. That measures the annualized change in the inflation adjusted value of goods and services produced by the economy. Higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the Japanese yen, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. So a weak reading could influence the Bank of Japan to expand its QE program, which would see potentially more weakness in the Japanese yen if that was to occur. So Thursday, 14th of February, we want to pay attention to the German GDP. This is the broadest measure of economic activity and is a key indicator of economic health. So this quarterly percentage change in GDP shows the growth rate of the economy as a whole. Higher than expected readings should be taken as bullish for the euro, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish. We know that the euro is still correlated to gold and silver quite heavily, so that's next Thursday, 7 o'clock. We've got next Friday at 9:30 a.m. GBP retail sales, so that will be important. That measures the change in the total value of inflation adjusted sales at the retail level. It's the foremost indicator of consumer spending, accounts for the majority of overall economic activity. So a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the pound, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish for the pound. And US on next Friday at 1:30 p.m. the US Empire State Manufacturing Index, another one to watch. The Empire State Manufacturing Index rates the relative level of general business conditions in New York State. Level above 0.0 indicates improving conditions, below indicates worsening conditions. Okay, so that's a higher than expected reading should be taken as bullish for the US dollar, while a lower than expected reading should be taken as bearish, and that's obviously important because the USD is inversely correlated to gold price. This is the key news. So really, if you'd like to request more information on our gold and silver trading coaching and live trading programs, please do go to www.thegoldandsilverclub.com/course form, or you can contact us at office@thegoldandsilverclub.com. You can telephone us on 0207 193 0403 or 852 8191 0403 for our Asia office. And very simply, for more information on our gold and silver trading coaching program, you can just very simply go to the website and you can click on Learn to Trade, and you will just be presented with our Gold and Silver Club program details there, and you can very simply just go there and get some additional information. You can also subscribe to our newsletter at www.thegoldandsilverclub.com to receive our free weekly gold, silver and commodity currencies news, live market analysis and prices. Okay, so you can also, I know a lot of you do take advantage of that on the call already, so yeah, great to see a lot of familiar faces on today's call there. So if you'd like to subscribe to our newsletter, do just go along to our website. Great. Well, as we come to an end there, guys, I'd like to just body on today's webinar. Great to see lots of you on here today. We'll be back the same time next Friday, so for more market news. Good luck with your trading today and for the rest of the week, and we look forward to catching up with you all next Friday. Okay guys, have a great day. Bye bye.